Good morning, class. This is Mr. Wolf here, and this is going to be lesson 9 for our multiplication and division unit. So today we're going to be talking about how to solve multiplication word problems using a number bond and tape diagram. So first we need to understand what a tape diagram is, what a number bond is, in order for us to use them in order to solve our problems. So let me start with a groups of picture. We'll start with something simple here, right? Okay, now we could say what this multiplication sentence would say, right? It looks like we've got 3 groups of 5, so that makes 3 times 5. But let's build it into a number bond, and this is how I'm going to do it. I want you to imagine for a moment that we put these all together in one group. We take this part, we put it in there. We take this part and put it in here, and this part we put in here. So a way to kind of think about it is like these are 3 plates, and they've got 5 cookies on them. 5 cookies on this one, 5 cookies on this one, and 5 cookies on this one. And we're just gonna dump all of it into one plate. Well, if I've got 5 here, 5 here, and 5 here, and I put all those cookies into one plate, how many cookies are gonna be on this one plate? That's right, 15. And instead of these numbers, let's rewrite it. Let's rewrite it as, instead of as these dots, let's rewrite it as numbers. There's 5 dots in the first one, 5 dots in the second one, 5 dots in the third one. That makes 3 5s. That's 3 5s, or 3 times 5. And what does it equal? The total is 15. So in a number bond, up here, where all of the groups come up to, is the product, or what we would call the total, right? It's the total. And down here are the parts. So down here are the parts. We could say it's the groups. We could say it's the how many are in each group, right? So a number bond is a great way that we can show our understanding of multiplication by saying, okay, I'm going to take all these 3, I'm going to put them all together, and I'm going to get the total. Okay, now that's a number bond. Let's take this same example here, but let's put this groups of into an array. Okay, so we've got my array. I've just taken this picture. So I've taken this group and put 5 here, took this group and put 5 here, and then took this group and put 5 here. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to take this and we're gonna draw a box around it. And we're just gonna draw lines that go kind of down in between them to separate the columns. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're gonna, instead of putting the dots, we're gonna put the numbers, right? So how many are in this one? There's 3. How many are in this one? 3. How many are in this one? 3. How many are in this one? 3. And how many are in this one? 3. And I'm gonna flatten this a little bit more and make it look like a piece of tape, like a thin rectangle, right? A squished down rectangle. And I'm gonna put these boxes, and I'm going to try to make the boxes about the same size. And I'm going to put those numbers in each. This right here is called a tape diagram. And I'm gonna make a little bracket to show my total. And up here, I showed my total by drawing lines up to a single circle. Here, I'm gonna make a bracket. And I could just do it like this too. Something like that. Okay, that'll work too, if you can't draw this bracket. But basically, we're gonna be pointing to the total. Well, I just took the same dots and put them in here and reorganized them. So now I've got 5 threes. This is 5 threes, right? I could actually write that over here. 5 threes. Oh, and we learned from commutative property that if we flip it, that we're going to get the same product, right? So what is 3 5s? 15. And I put my total up here as well. Okay, so we can see that we can take a groups of picture and an array, and we can turn them into 2 different pictures. We can turn them into a number bond and into a tape diagram. And these are great pictures that you've used in previous school years to kind of help you solve word problems, which is what we're going to be doing right now. I've got a word problem for us, and we're going to use both strategies. On one side, we're going to solve it using a number bond, and on one side, we're going to solve it using a tape diagram. So over here, we're going to use a number bond. And over here, we're going to use a tape diagram. All right, so here is the word problem. We got John bakes, excuse me, he bakes 4 cookies in the oven. And each cookie has 6 chocolate chips in each. So I want to know how many chocolate chips are in all 4 cookies. So let's think about this. If we were going to do it as a number bond, well, I noticed that he said cookies, right? So how many cookies did he have? He had 4 cookies, right? There are my 4 cookies. And how many chocolate chips were in each one? 6, right? And I want to know how many he had all together. That's what my number bond looks like. And this right here will have a question mark in it because I don't know the total. I know that there are 4 groups of 6 because there are 4 cookies and 6 in each. I know that there are 4 6s. And so in a moment, we'll solve for what the total is, right? But let's also set this up using a tape diagram if you wanted to. Okay, we know that he had 4 cookies, right? So let's make 4 cookies. These are my 4 cookies, right? And he had 6 chocolate chips in each. I want to know what the total is. Okay, and that's where we can now solve, right? 4 times 6, 4 6s. Well, that's 12 plus 12 more is 24. That means that this is 24. This is 4 groups of 6, which makes 24. So in total, I would say 24 chocolate chips in all. Right? That would be my answer sentence. Okay, so we just went through how to use a number bond and a tape diagram to solve our word problems. Make sure that you use a number bond or a tape diagram. You get to choose in the word problem that's in the exit ticket. And that concludes our lesson today. So get after that exit ticket and do your very best.